back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
And we're back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650. Joining us in the studio today from the BC Seniors Living Association is board member Alison Howard, along with nutrition and active lifestyle expert Rob Upe. Our conversation today is based on the benefits of moving to an independent living community. And what we're learning so far in the first segment of the show is that there are many, many benefits. So let's talk about how important it is to be having a family discussion about the prospect of making the change to an independent living community, an active seniors community. Is it your experience that the majority of families and individuals just wait too long to have this discussion, Alison?
They do, and there's a variety of reasons why. I mean, first of all, we as human beings don't like to be faced with our own mortality, and that's what a lot of people think. When they think of retirement homes, they think, oh my gosh, it's the end of the line. Rob and I are here today to give you a completely different perspective on that.
Well, I think a lot of that is from stereotypes in the past, that we called them nursing homes in the past. That just doesn't exist anymore.
No, it doesn't. Okay. It really, really doesn't. And I think for us as adult children, sometimes it's hard for us to wrap our brains around the fact that our parents are getting older. However, this is the perfect time of year for us here at BCSLA and on this show to be having this conversation, because Christmas is coming up. And this is the time when all the families are visiting together and kids are coming home and they're staying at mom and dad's place, or they're staying at mom's place, and they're looking around the house and they're seeing that, you know, mom, who was fastidiously clean, is maybe not keeping up the levels of cleanliness anymore, or she just doesn't have the energy, the fridge isn't stocked properly.
Yeah, her health has been failing a little bit.
She's a little more frail than usual, you know, or she's had a few trips to the doctor's office. And you know what? That circle of friends is diminishing because, you know, they're passing away. She may be in her home more, doesn't want to drive. There's a lot of factors that can trigger the discussion. Our goal at BCSLA is to have that discussion before you get to that point where you're seeing all of these little telltale signs that it might be time for a change.
Trying to be proactive.
Be proactive. And I mean, Rob can weigh in this in a minute. The reason why life gets so much better once you move into an active lifestyle community, once you choose a retirement community that has your values. So we always say, look for a community where you can see yourself living. Each community focuses on a different aspect. These are my values. These are the community's values. It's a match. Boom. Perfect. Today we're going to talk about the active aspect of that and how important it is. But here's what we know for a fact. If we wait too long, and this goes back to the discussion about falls, if we wait too long, people are coming in after a crisis has occurred, there may be higher acuity, there may be more frailty, and you're not getting all of the benefits of living in community and taking advantage of great nutrition, great socialization, fantastic cultural and arts programs, amazing fitness programs.
Yeah, healthy lifestyle options.
Connection on so many levels.
That's true. So it's just about starting that conversation.
Yes.
And we all know that change can be difficult. And of course, when you're trying to move a parent, there's a lot of pride involved. The family home, you know, my history is here. A lot of stubbornness, maybe. They can take me out in a pine box. I've heard that before.
Feet first.
But I think something that we want to establish here is that change can actually be good when you move into a healthy, active retirement community.
Absolutely. And I think to echo with Alison saying, you know, we look at some examples that we have is residents, we've seen it, residents move in and they start doing a lot more than they would have if they were on their own. There's no doubt about it. To give you an example of a few people that I can talk about. And just to back up 1 minute is that I think there's this idea that people don't want to go in because they're going to lose their independence. They say, I'm going to lose it. And they haven't really defined what that means.
Yeah.
But we've seen people, there's one gentleman I know that was in his 90s, and he started going on he was a fisherman, and he started going on a fishing trip again annually. This is something that he wasn't doing when he was living on his own because it was just too much of a problem to figure it out, how to go about doing that, to leave his place and to get his gear and to go. And now he's off. So
he's almost more independent.
He's more
now.
independent, and I think people think that it's a funny. You may have seen this, Elsa. They think they're going to come in and that they're locked in the walls.
Yeah.
They're not. Can I leave?
And forced into activity.
So they're independent to come and go as they please. What's happened is that we're providing the vehicle for people to be able to do more, to explore more, to do things perhaps they've done in the past that they stopped doing, and thrive. That's really the key.
So when you're living, sorry, Alison, but when you're living in your own home and you're by yourself, how independent are you really?
Well, that's the test. That's the means test. And I think people have to get really honest with themselves about really how independent am I?
The kids are coming to cut the grass.
Exactly. How much is it costing me to pay so-and-so to come and clean my house every week? And you know what? I can't drive anymore. So
who's going to do the shopping?
So how am I going to get my shopping done? Yeah. How am I going to get my meds filled? There's so many things that we just, in our culture, we like our single family home. That's where I live. And I'm independent because I live in my home, except I can't get up and down the stairs anymore to do my laundry. So I personal family story, am throwing the laundry down the stairs because I can't carry it, and then trying to get down the stairs, and then picking the laundry up to. I'm like, is that really independence?
Yeah, I had a relative that was washing.
That's a fall waiting to happen, right? Which wouldn't be reported.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but I had a relative that was washing their own clothes in the sink upstairs because they couldn't get downstairs to the laundry machine.
Exactly. So
Great example.
Let's switch that up and say, what if every week somebody came in, did your towels, did your sheets. If you didn't feel like doing your personal laundry, maybe for free, maybe for a small fee, they'll do your knickers for you. What if somebody was doing that, mopping your floors, dusting for you, and then what would you be doing? Oh, maybe you'd be at Tai Chi. Maybe you'd be at Chair Fitness. Maybe you'd be out on the bus going, I don't know,
sightseeing around
Harrison
Stanley
Hot
Park.
Springs, or exactly, or whatever. I mean, we have so many stories of people who it's like, if I had a nickel, and I'm going to say a nickel, for every time a member community had a story about somebody saying, oh, if I wish I'd moved in sooner, I could retire in downtown Vancouver.
Wow.
In a 800 square foot condo.
Wow.
Exactly. Like people, once they get there, it's like the light goes, I can't believe I didn't do this sooner, because they really, really do experience that independence. And it's a huge change in attitude. But that's where families really, really can play a role in understanding. Like, go for yourself. Go and have a look.
Well,
Go
this
look
is
at
good,
them.
because you know what? Make it your goal this year at Christmas, when you gather as a family, to start that discussion with your mom or your dad or the senior that's in your life, right?
Yes.
So, Rob, let's bring you into the conversation a little bit. Like, if somebody moves into an active seniors community, how apt are they really going to be to go and join an exercise program if they're 80 years old and they haven't exercised for the last 40 years of their life?
Yeah.
Really, other than walking around the block or walking the dog.
It's a good question, a fair question, and I've seen it firsthand. A number of years ago, at one particular community, at a company I was with, they had a predominantly Italian population in their community, and the son said to me, says, "There's no way you'll get my mom to exercise. No way." Like, to her, even just riding a bicycle as a girl was too much.
Yep.
It's not
her. Yeah.
It's not her. And lo and behold, to cut to the end of the story, she ended up buying a full-on velvet tracksuit and was in the gym 3 days a week. But what happened?
It wasn't velvet. It was velour.
Velour.
Yeah, it
velour. Velour tracksuit. But what happened from that point to where she ended up working 3 days a week is that it was a soft introduction to see what was happening. But what was happening in what retirement communities will do as well is they'll have their peers actually help with orientations. So they see someone else doing it who's the same age and talking about it, and they say, well,
it drives their competitive spirit.
It drives a competitive spirit, but it's that introduction, because there's a lot of barriers to entry to exercise. I mean, even with younger adults, there's always something that makes people feel anxious, and this is why I think women's only clubs have done well, because people have different reasons why they might feel anxious. It's even more so for an older adult. So I think we do a very good job at introducing people into the program, how to get involved, and they do get involved. They do. We haven't had many people kick back to say, I don't want to do it.
No, it's, do you know, it's more often the kids who are touring with us who say, oh, you'll never get mom or dad to do that. And I know, Rob, you probably have a lot of great stories. I do too. I can think of two, like recently, one of our member communities opened recently, and a woman, Evelyn, moved in July. And she was riding a scooter at that time, and she was living in her own home, big house in the mountains, great social network, but was using a scooter to get around a town and to get around sometimes in her home. She moved in July. She is now, what are we now? The 1st of November, beginning of November, she's lost 30 pounds
by moving into
an active lifestyle community. She's lost 30 pounds, and she is walking. She still uses her walker, but she looks amazing. She's parked the scooter, and she's getting around with her walker, and she's more upright. And I just, I was in this community last week, and I looked at her and said, Evelyn, my gosh, you look amazing. She said, it's the exercise classes.
It is.
But I think it's more than just the exercise class.
It's the exercise. Well, it's the exercise classes. It's the positive reinforcement they're getting from others. It's the fact that they're doing it together. There's support from all ends.
And the good nutrition.
The science behind exercise in older adults is huge. It's well documented. So it's not like for us, we're used to it and you see it, but for these folks and their families, it's a miracle. It's miraculous to think about someone who's using a walker or a scooter and then they're not using it anymore. We've seen this over and over again, but that's a huge benefit. This is a big difference and big change in their life.
You're listening to Boomer Life on CL 650, and joining us in the studio from the BC Seniors Living Association is board member Alison Howard, along with our nutrition and active lifestyle expert Rob Upe. If you have any questions about today's show or questions about the BC Seniors Living Association and how they might be able to help you, you can call them or you can get some more information on their website at bcsla.ca. We'll be right back.
Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.